In this video, I'm going to teach you how to become a good guitar player, especially if you're an adult learning guitar for the first time. So I want to start by sharing something which is pretty crazy. Maybe you'll even look like this guy after I tell it to you. But I want to share a real statistic, which is that 90% of adults who try to learn guitar for the first time will never make it past the beginner stage. That means that 9 out of every 10 adults who try to learn guitar will either quit or stay stuck forever, and they'll never be able to play a song from start to finish. So how do you make sure that you are in that 10% and not the 90%? Well, if you're watching this and you're an adult trying to learn guitar for the first time, make sure you watch until the very end, because I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid the same mistakes that most people make. But first, let's be clear on who this video is for and not for. So this video is for adults over the age of 25 that have little to no music background or music experience. It's also for people who would rather invest in your guitar skills rather than a fancy guitar. So if you had a few $1,000s laying around, right, you'd rather spend that money on becoming a good guitar player as opposed to just going out and buying a $3,000 fancy guitar that you can't even play. Finally, it's for people who have careers. Maybe you're a little short on time. Maybe you have a family, but you still want to learn. You still want to get better. You still want to do this. So this video is not for anyone under 25. It's not for intermediate or advanced players, and it's not for people with a bunch of free time. If that first part sounds like you're going to get a ton out of this video. Now, really quickly, who am I? Why should you even listen to me? I'm Dave. I teach guitar to over 1 million people online. I run an online guitar program built specifically for adults. And in this video, I'll walk you through how that program works and how I could help you. But even if you don't end up joining the program, that's fine. My goal in this video is to give you real, helpful information that you can use to improve at guitar. Now, before I was doing all of this, I was stuck at the beginner level for about 5 years. I was literally playing the same 3, 4, 5 songs on repeat, not improving at all, had no idea what to learn until I finally figured out. And so what I learned over those 5 years is that if you're an adult learning guitar for the first time, you're probably running into these problems. So problem number 1, you most likely don't have any structure. So let's say you're a self-taught guitar player. You've probably struggled because there's no clear roadmap on what you should learn next. So you think to yourself, what should I be practicing? How long should I be practicing? What techniques? What should I learn next? And if you're anything like me, you've spent a ton of time on YouTube or reading articles online or reading books. Let's say you've even taken lessons before, right? Very rarely does the teacher have a set scheduled weekly plan. And even if they do have some structure, after your lessons are over, you have to go home, practice completely on your own, all by yourself, and try to figure out what to do. So this problem sucks because not only can it cause you not to improve, but having no structure causes you to potentially build really bad habits that are harder to reverse, and then you just get totally discouraged and end up quitting. Now, even if you do find something that gives you structure, like a book or a course or taking lessons, the second problem you've probably run into is not being able to stay consistent, right? Life gets in the way. You get busy with work, family, travel, and eventually the guitar just sits in the corner collecting dust. Why? Because nobody's holding you accountable. You miss one day, then 1 week, and before you know it, you've quit again. That's the real reason why most adults never follow through, right? Just because you have a really good practice plan, that does not change the fact that it is completely up to you to do all of the hard work and constantly practice and improve. And again, even if you're taking in-person lessons, right, the whole entire week that you aren't with the teacher, assuming they even have a plan for you, which most don't, you have to practice completely on your own with nobody watching or holding you accountable. The third problem you've probably run into is that you get bored or burnt out. Most people think that the more you practice, the more you progress. That is actually false. I've seen people play hours a day practicing the wrong stuff, the same 3 songs, the same mistakes, no real improvement. And eventually you're going to get bored, you're going to get tired, you're going to get burnt out. In fact, what's even worse about this is that you're actually going to build worse habits that are even harder to reverse and unlearn. Practicing is obviously super important, but just practicing more does not work if you're not practicing the right way. So this problem really sucks because you are spending hours of your week practicing for nothing. In fact, you're even getting worse and you're building habits that are harder to change. So practicing is obviously super important, but just practicing more in itself doesn't work unless you're practicing the right way. And most people, when they start off, especially if they're an adult, really have no idea if they're practicing the right way or not. Finally, the last problem you're probably running into is that a lot of adults think that it's too late. Like people say, oh, if I only started when I was a kid, I'd have a better sense of music. But here's the truth, right? Adults actually learn faster. You're more patient, you understand patterns better, and most importantly, you actually want to learn, right? Mom and dad aren't forcing you to learn an instrument. This is actually something that you want to achieve. And I've seen 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, even 60-year-olds improve faster than teenagers or young kids. The only thing holding you back is mindset. Now, luckily, there is a solution to all this stuff. So that's what I want to do in the next few minutes. I want to walk through how to fix all of these issues. And when you put all of these solutions together, it actually makes learning guitar pretty easy. So, solution number one, right? In order to fix the issue of having no structure in your practicing, what you need is a step-by-step plan, a weekly checklist designed specifically for your skill level that tells you exactly what to practice so that it's all laid out in front of you. For example, in my program, each student gets a checklist where we can see the exact path needed to becoming a good guitar player. There's no second guessing, just follow the plan and see results. How do you expect to get to a goal without a clear pathway? And how are you supposed to know that pathway if you don't have any experience? For example, I had a student named Gary, right? And Gary played for 5 years. He watched every YouTube video out there, he read every book, but he still couldn't get his playing the way he wanted it to sound like, right? He swore he tried everything. But when he joined the program and he just had a checklist of everything he needed to do, it eliminated all of the second guessing and all of the effort to look through books and YouTube and try to figure out what to practice. Now, again, even if you do have a plan like this, where everything's laid out in front of you, you still need to practice consistently. So in order to fix the problem with inconsistency, what you need to get is a mentor, not just a teacher. So let me explain the difference, right? Think of a personal trainer, someone that has a personalized plan for you, someone who has already achieved the goal that you want and has already gone through the things that you're about to go through, right? Someone that you can constantly check in with, send text or videos with updates, and get real accountability every single day to make sure you improve and get to that goal that they promised you. That's a mentor. A teacher is just someone who meets with you like once a week, asks what you want to do today, shows you some things, and that's that. Then you got to go home on your own and try to figure everything out. So to give you another example, I had another student named Jonathan who took lessons for 3-4 years. Every time he met with a teacher, the teacher would have no game plan for him. Then he would simply ask Jonathan what he wanted to work on. And of course, Jonathan didn't know what to say because he's just starting out. Then he would go home and nobody would watch him practice. So he had no accountability. And of course, what ended up happening is that the guitar just collected dust and he made no real improvements over 3 years. That's why it's so important that you have somebody that you can constantly check in with or meet with that's been through everything that you're about to go through and knows the exact pathway, right? In my program specifically, right, each student can schedule unlimited one-on-one lessons with me. They can text me, they can send me videos of their progress, and we meet throughout the entire program to make sure we are on the right track. Now, to fix the problem of getting bored and getting burnt out, the solution is to surround yourself with other beginner guitar players, right? Other people at your same level trying to get to the same goal. So, for example, in my program, there's currently anywhere from 30 to 50 active adults, all trying to get to the same goal. So we meet in groups of 2 to 3. We do weekly group lessons so that everyone can feed off each other, they can see what questions people are asking, and they can hold each other accountable. I had a student named Darian, and he used to take lessons all the time, but he just wasn't sure what questions to ask. Like, he would just show up to the lessons, he'd be silent, and that was that, right? He didn't really know what to ask. But when he joined my program, he was instantly put in a group of 2 to 3 other people at his same level. And instantly he got to see what they were working on, what questions they were asking. They started working together. They started holding each other accountable. And bam, it just makes it way more fun. You get a whole lot more out of it. Now, in order to fix that last problem, right, that you think you're too old mindset problem, you need to find something that specializes in adults. This is important because you need to stop believing that it's too late to learn. I've taught younger kids and I've taught adults, and I've seen adults improve faster, believe it or not. I had a student, for example, his name's Mike, and he started learning guitar at 65 years old. And just within 3 months, he was able to play songs from start to finish and ended up playing for his wife at a wedding in front of like 100 people. And it took him 3 months. And he was 65, never learned guitar before. So I hope that helps you, give you the confidence that truly anyone can do it. It really does not matter if you have the music gene or not. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, I want you to take a second and just reflect on a couple of these questions. If you keep doing what you're doing, where will you be in 6 months? Will your guitar continue to collect dust, right? Will you quit? How much have you already spent, on things that didn't work? How much time have you spent? How much money have you spent? Personally, I've spent $6,000 on programs, lessons, and courses trying to figure this all out. And unfortunately, the sad truth of it is if you don't make a change now, nothing will probably change. Now, at this point, you really have two options, right? Option number one, you can take all the information in this video and you can try to go out on your own and apply it yourself. You're going to have to rely on yourself to, fix all the problems that you run into that you're not even sure are coming. Now, option number two is you can get help. You and I can work together and I'll give you everything that you need: a clear practice plan, weekly group lessons, unlimited one-on-one lessons, and I will literally show you all of the mistakes that you will run into and how to fix them before you even run into them. If you want to go with option number two and you want help, all you need to do is text me at this number, 847-826-9066. Just shoot me a text with your first name. We'll find a time to talk about the program, and then you can see if you want to do it or not. If you have already booked a call, that's great. We'll talk more about it on the call, but hopefully this video gives you a little bit more insight on how the program works and how it can help you. With that being said, I hope this video helped, and I hope that you have a better understanding of what the better way to learn guitar is. Hope you have a great day.